Welcome and thanks for joining me for Pathfinder Kingmaker. This is Journeys in the Stolen Lands. We're just finishing up here at Ruined Watchtower, and I think we're going to head back home to Tuskdale. So we'll head out to the map and I'll meet you back home. Okay, we made it back to Tuskdale and rested up. It looks like we have maybe something to take care of here at the Kingdom table. Before we do that, we're going to continue on our quest to get to know our companions. We haven't talked to Linzi yet very much, so we're going to do that here to start out. Halfling girl with tousled hair, wearing a dusty traveler's outfit, sits chewing the tip of her quill. That's kind of weird. It's like we've never even seen her before. She has been hanging around here. Just a moment. How should I put this? Oh, I know. She scribbles something quickly in a notebook, scrawled with a verse, raises her eyes and gives you a bright smile. Oh, hi. Guess we've never really had a conversation with her since we met, so it's about time, I guess. Tell me about yourself. What do you want to know? Where are you from? I'm from all over, huh? I was actually born in Galt, in such a tiny village that it's not even on the maps. If it weren't for my teacher, I'd still be living there, milking goats, weeding turnips, swilling home brew, having babies, and using books only as kindling. Who was your teacher? He's a true saint. He was once an important person in the capital at the Church of Shaylin, but he got in trouble with the authorities and went on a self-imposed exile to the tiniest, most godforsaken, priestless village he could find, the one where I was born. He wanted to open a school, but the villagers wouldn't let him. You can heal us all you like, but no putting any ideas into our children's heads. It'll only distract them from their work. But he did teach me on the sly. He taught me how to read, how to write, and he gave me books, poems, legends. He was the one who told me about the Arch Knights of Avestan. And when I told him I was going on a journey, he gave a magic ring so that Shaylin would protect me from harm. I haven't seen him since I ran away from home. I hope he's alright. I ask Shaylin every day to grant him a long life and new students. Arch Knights of Avestan? Who are they? Oh, you haven't heard of them? How can you be a hero without knowing one of the most epic stories in the history of stories? No, they won't spoil anything. You should just read about them yourself, every single chapter. Their adventures are what gave me the idea of going on a heroic quest and writing about it to begin with. And now look at me, here I am, on a heroic quest. How did you become a bard? When I realized there was nothing for me at home besides more radish patches, I decided to run away. A traveling book peddler, Tessie the Quill, happened across our village. That's right, Tessie the Quill shows up here later, doesn't she? Well, I stuck to her like a burr and wouldn't let go until she agreed to take me as an apprentice. Together, we traveled everywhere, to Brevoy and Taldor and even Ustalav. And then I found out about the Academy of Grand Arts in PITAX. And I thought, well, I love reading stories, so I can surely learn to write them too. I enrolled on my first try, and they even gave me a scholarship. Then they expelled me, haha, but that's okay. They'd already taught me all the important stuff, and now with Shaylin's help, I can manage on my own. Do you worship Shaylin? Yes, not to offend the other gods, but she's the most important of them all. All the other gods guard the world as it is, but only the eternal Rose, the goddess of beauty, calls us to the world as it should be. Why are your clothes so messy? Linzi waves her hand carelessly. Forget it, I can't waste money on looks. I'd rather buy books instead. In 100 years, when people are reading my works, they aren't going to ask whether the author had holes in her sleeves. Okay, you come from PITAX, right? Tell me about it. Oh, I love PITAX, even though they kicked me out. A joyful place. What is life like? What is life in PITAX like? Actually, PITAX has always been one huge nest of thieves. Bandits, river pirates, smugglers, fences, card sharps. It's always been home for the likes of them. But that was before Iravetti became king. With him, a whole different life began there. Iravetti always wanted to make history, but not as another bandit with a crown, though that's exactly what he is. He wanted to be glorified through the centuries as a great patron of the arts. So he built the Academy of Grand Arts and spent lots of gold to assemble the best artists, poets, and musicians. Of course, the very best ones refused to go, but he got what he wanted in a way. If PITAX was once just a booze barn for thieves, now it's a cabaret. What do you know of King Iravetti? He won his crown in a game of cards, which says as much about PITAX as it does about him. He's fiendishly clever. Some cheats I know told me that that from the moment he appeared, he started pulling off such schemes that the old city masters just scratched their heads. With him in charge, gold flooded into Pitax, and also he's incredibly, unimaginably, fantastically decadent and conceited. Getting drunk with whores at the pub, that's not Lord Iravetti's style, oh no, he aims higher. Dressing up like a male Calistria with a golden codpiece and holding a 3-week orgy, with dancing on the rooftops, parades, public executions, and a contest for the best ode to the great unrivaled king. That's more like it. He also likes singing. Ugh, and he orders his guards to make the citizens gather for his shows. May Shailen have mercy on his listeners. Tell me about the academy you studied at. You know, jokes aside, I'm thankful to Iravetti for building it, but he has no taste at all. Whatsoever. He likes his art loud, bright, grandiose, and most importantly, glorifying his royal highness. He kicked out the best charcoal artist because he didn't wish to spend money on gray scribbles. He sacked a masterful flute player from Tianxia for playing too quietly, and instead ordered them to open a kettle drum class. He even ordered the academy to expel me. And for what? An innocent limerick. Would you like to go back to the academy and finish your studies? I'd like to return, but on one condition. If they threw out 3/4 of the professors who teach there now and returned all the ones they banished. If you ask me, I'm proud to have been expelled. If my art was to Iravetti's liking, then I would have reason to be ashamed. As long as mediocre lickspittles sit at the academy, then and those with real talent beg on the streets of Pitax, I will not cross the threshold of that place. Tell me about that book you're writing. What is there to tell? You've seen some of my rough drafts already, haven't you? It's a book about you and your adventures. I'm writing the whole truth just as it happened. Well, the whole artistic truth. You know, no glory, no story. Why are you writing it? What's the point? When I was at the academy, Eobald the Insightful began his literature course with the question, what is a person? And he answered, a person is a storytelling animal. Our world does not consist of things, all these woods, seas, and cities. It consists of stories about those things. The stories we tell to ourselves and to each other. Just think about it. Centuries will pass and there will be no me and no you. All your subjects will be long gone, but you and I will live on in people's memories and influence their deeds, thanks to this very book. No offense, but your command of language is not that good. Okay. The truth doesn't hurt me. Who do you think my most severe critic is? That's right, it's me. This is my first real book and I have much yet to learn, but don't you worry, I will do your feats justice. And if I put my foot in my mouth here and there, then we can print a second edition, revised and corrected. Your book is full of inconsistencies. Well, yes, I can admit that. Sometimes one has to bend a few details for the sake of dramatic effect. It's called poetic truth. I write about everything, as if I saw it with my own eyes, even parts of the adventure that I wasn't around for. But I do always carefully question everyone who was with you at the time. Think of it as a general picture. In the end, you're the hero of this book, and I am just the storyteller. I wasn't even with you during your first feats, but who wants to read about how I roamed the swamps with that miserable Tartuccio while you were defeating the Stag Lord? That's cool that she's got different dialogue here based on how our initial party ends up. No one, of course, so I wrote about you. I'll sit down and write my own biography some other time, when I'm very old. Haha. So what kind of character am I? It's not easy to write about you. You're not like a normal hero from a book. Sometimes I even think you're a real villain. But it's not my place to judge you. That's for the readers. My task is to write the truth about you, the whole truth. You have an iron core. No matter what tricks fate throws into your path, you always know what's right and what's wrong. Some might say that's boring, but others will learn from you, from your strong character. How do you feel about me reading your work in progress? Well, these are only drafts. But of course, you're welcome to read them. Just keep in mind that even if you don't like what I write about, I won't change a single letter, so don't even ask. Of course, it's a book about you, but it's my book, understood? The small writer's eyes glow rebelliously. I'd rather have a say in how my biography turns out. And I would prefer to turn every army barracks into a library, and eat cream pudding for breakfast every day, but you can't always get what you want. That's true even for rulers. Okay. Tell me about your friendship with Tessie the Quill. What's there to say? The books wrote The books woke my urge to travel, but it was only thanks to Tessie that I managed to really get out of my village. At first, Tessie tried in vain to get rid of me, but later when I told her I was staying behind in Pitax, she even shed a tear. I wonder where she is now. I wish she would visit us and see how beautifully you fixed things up here. We used to avoid the stolen lands, but now she could come and set up her stand and the customers would come flooding through. What's the deal with the ring you always wear on your finger? Ah, this. Linzi holds her arm for you to get a clear view of the ring. It was a gift to me from my first teacher. It's magical, imbued by the powers of Shaylin, no less. When I get myself in trouble, it transports me to a safe spot. Yeah, that was something I never actually experienced with her. Maybe because she was rarely the one getting in trouble in fights. But she had this ring that supposedly transports her away, and never actually experienced that happening. So, please don't be angry with me if I suddenly disappear from a fight. I'll wait for you here, promise. Alright. Caught up with Linzi there. Got to know her a little bit better. Now we're going to check in our kingdom table. We had success here, Lander, with cheap publicity. Bards listened carefully to the advisor's suggestions and then they took to the road. Now songs of praise can be heard in taverns across the barony. Got some community, loyalty, and culture there. Okay, I'm going to check things out here a little bit and then we'll summarize. Okay, we've got this problem, troublemakers, spurring people to rebel against the ruler. Grumblings of popular discontent can be heard in the capital. Advisors should either answer to the rabble-rousers or nip the rebellion in the bud. We're going to put Lander on that and start it up. Tristan here is about to get done with this. So we're going to skip ahead 3 days, finish that up. See if anything else pops up in the meantime. Okay. Failure with that. Shoot. Messengers were sent to every region, but their warnings fell on deaf ears. The peasants refused to act and even accused the messengers of inviting disaster. So we lost a little bit of loyalty there. Okay, but now Tristan's available. We could put him on River Maiden. I think we'll... Okay, there's a mermaid in a river where trade ships operate. She's begun to sink passing vessels. She must be chased away from there before she scares off all the merchants. Alright, we'll get that started up before the end of the month. The rest of these are opportunities that we would need Tristan for. Alright. We do have just 3 days left on this trade agreement. That would actually put us into the next month. We might have some new things popping up then. So let's go ahead and skip time again. Okay, we skipped ahead and we passed into the new month, so we failed some things here that we didn't get anybody started on. But we finished the trade agreement with Mivon. So in 100 weeks, we'll have recovered the 100 BP that we spent on this. I don't know if that was worth it. 2 years. In 2 years, we'll have recovered that investment. But we've got a new thing here. Letter from Mager Varn. Okay. And then testimony of loyalty. Citizens wish to express their appreciation for their ruler and protector. Someone must organize a presentation of gifts. And Tristan... popular here for these. Okay, let's go to the throne room. Lander. Oh, look, a letter for you. That reminds me, when we get done here, I need to remember, we got a letter from Jamandi Aldori. I noticed when I was watching back the, I don't know, a couple episodes ago maybe now, she gave us a letter and we never actually read it. And there was like a hover here to read it, and I didn't even look at that. So I'm going to have to see if we have that in our inventory that we can actually read it. Anyway. This letter Looks like it's from one of the go-getters doing Aldori's bidding. Have you ever heard of Mager Varn? No? That's funny. He sure knows a lot about you. Enough to try to sweet-talk you into building a trade route. Yeah, we met Mager at the beginning. Okay, let's look at this letter. Most Honorable Baron Kane, this is Mager Varn, the ruler of the neighboring city of Varnhold, writing. You might remember meeting me at the reception. Yes, I do. Our encounter had a powerful effect on me. You are a brave warrior and a wise ruler, which is why I hope to enlist your support and in the future form a firm friendship. No matter whether the gods or the sword lords have contributed to us becoming neighbors, I believe that our alliance will be as steadfast as a rock. To signify the formation of our alliance, I invite you to visit Varnhold and see for yourself that my intentions are good. The city is still young, but we have a lot to show our guests. Our cellars are full of wine barrels and our storehouses of grain and cheese. It is easy to reach my city. The path to Varnhold lies in the east, past Lake Silverstep and over the ridge of the Tor of Levanese. Hard to get lost in these parts. Whether you accept my invitation or not, I ask of you one more thing. Consider building a route and developing trade between our lands. I am convinced that both of us would only benefit from this union. Anxiously await your visit. Respectfully yours, Baron Mager Varn. Okay. So we have a new event now to build that trade route, I think. Before we do anything else, though, before I forget, I'm going to look for that letter. That's Mager Varn's letter. Is this it? Okay, yeah. Frankly, I didn't... This is in regards to us turning Oleg's trading post into a military checkpoint. Frankly, I didn't expect this from you. Such an outrageous deed casts a dark shadow on your future affairs with Restov. Are you really in such a state of extreme poverty that you're ready to start a feud with your only ally over the right to collect taxes from some shabby trading post? Many newly minted nobles have lost their titles, lands, even their very lives simply because they lacked the will to get rid of their old habits. You should remember you are not a thug anymore who can snatch someone's purse and dissolve into the crowd. The ones you rob will always remember the location of your capital. Lord Mayor Selemius was furious. It took me a lot of effort to talk him out of retaliating, but my influence has its limits. May your health remain strong, Sword Lord Jamandi Aldori. Okay. I'm thinking we probably do need to be careful about choosing basically evil-ish choices. They may come back to bite us if we're not careful. Okay, so we have a project now here for this trade agreement. Actually could come up with the funds and put Jubilost on it. That gives us 2 BP per week. So it's funny, that costs less and gives us more per week than that last one that we just finished. So it'll take a lot less time to recoup that investment. But we can go ahead and do it. We're going to do the trade agreements. We need to get them done sooner rather than later, or they are of no use to us. Alright, start that up. Okay, I'm going to pick up camping supplies and then we will be able to head out. Okay, we supplied up. Also had... Well, I sold a bunch of equipment that we picked up, but I had a few like armor and weapons that we just threw on some of our other characters here that we aren't using now, but may potentially, like we had this half plate +1, we threw that on Valerie, this axe, I can't, maybe, I think we gave, we had a crossbow that we gave to Linzi, just in case. Alright, let's head out and figure out where we're going to go next. What I think I'd like to do is see if we can get to this bandit camp that popped up. It's on the way to the Kobold Trail, which I think is where eventually is our next main point. But I want to see if there's a route to this camp, so we'll head down here. Okay, we had an encounter on the road here. Oh, I sort of remember this. It was on the way to that Kobold Trail. So we saw something that probably no one else had ever seen before. Beside the blazing campfire stood a kobold. who had wrapped himself in a worn-out elven robe. On the far side of the clearing, 3 enormous trolls shuffled their feet, hesitating. The kobold stretched out his calloused paws and with immense gravity hissed and mumbled incomprehensibly. We could barely even guess at what all this meant. We went around the glade unnoticed, using the creek to hide, or do we try to sneak closer? I'm unsure about, I feel more confident with this lower nature check. Failed. The old creek turned out to be too shallow for us to creep up to the campfire unnoticed. The kobolds screamed and waved in our direction and the trolls bore their teeth. A battle was unavoidable. Okay. Oh, let's get... Okay. Well, I didn't expect that, but here we are. Got 3 branded trolls here. Great. A leopard. Let's move you to the end. They're going after Kane. Alright, let's get Enna in here. Get her mutagen. Alright, now Elora could really use like a good color spray from you. Let's try to stay out of range of the attack of opportunity. We can. Not gonna hit the 3rd one here, unfortunately. Probably with her, I think there's a feat that extends, or maybe it's a meta magic thing that extends the range on those. That would be nice for stuff like this. To have been able to reach all 3 of them. Alright, Bruin. We can heal Kane here. Amaya. I'd like to get inspiration on, but it'd be really nice. Ooh, or we could glitter dust. I think if we could stun 1 or 2 with the Thunder Call, that would be optimal. So let's try that. No. Okay. Kane. Like they're all gonna go after him. Let's see if we can get him away.
Time for a clever approach.
Let's move over this way. We can get Alvar in here.
Out of my way!
Come on.
Die, die, die!
Okay, we really need some control on these. We risk moving her a little bit closer. Still can't reach all 3. There, we got 1 of them with that at least. We'd actually hit them with the prayer. Alright, let's get the inspiration on. Now Kane, we'll bring you back in here.
No fear!
Oh, we need to switch to Troll Reaper. Yeah, I forgot. Guess I can't do that now.
I don't like you.
Alright. Come on, leopard. Survive that hit.
Let the attack commence.
Okay, let's see. Fire is not gonna do any good, but how about the blinding ray? Oh, dang it. I'm glad that didn't hurt her worse than it might have. I think actually a protection from alignment might be fine here. I think there's usually chaotic evil. Alright, Thundercall again. I kind of wonder if just some grease back there would actually maybe do more for us. Their fortitude saves just in general seem to be really high. Okay. We just swap Troll Reaper.
You've made your choice.
Nice. Okay, that's gonna be so good to have. We were so worried about the acid, and I forgot about this weapon. So glad we went to the watchtower too. Didn't try to just push our way into unknown territory. Alvar's doing a good job there of avoiding those attacks.
Entrails, please.
I'd like to get Kane in for a cleave. I don't know if we can get close enough to this other one. Ruin. Maybe just a blast. Let's try to hold this one. Yeah, good. Okay. Alright, Kane. You can actually get kind of in here. Let's try the cleave. I don't think... Maybe we must not have been close enough. I don't know for that one. Anyway, we killed that one. That's nice.
I'll split you in half.
This one's held too, so I think we can just real time it. Come on, everybody. There we go. Need one hit from Kane. Yeah. Cool. Boy, yeah, having that axe really helps. Oh, and he leveled up. Nice. Okay, we'll have to decide if taking... If he gets a new feat this turn. If taking... Great Axe, weapon focus... might be worth it. Okay, we got Kane leveled up. He got a boost to his studied target. And then on the feat, I debated between this Cornigon Smash and improved cleaving finish. Decided to go with the Cornigon Smash, since we pretty much have power attack running all the time on him. When he damages an opponent with power attack, you make an immediate persuasion intimidate check as a free action to attempt to demoralize your opponent. So hopefully, I mean, our persuasion is not like super high, but it's high enough to be able to take this feat. So hopefully we'll get something out of that. I guess we'll find out. Okay, and I don't know if there's gonna be anything else here. The kobolds all ran away. Bloody leftovers of a troll's dinner are scattered beside the rock. Something over here. Someone struck this rock hard enough to leave claw marks across the surface. I think all the kobolds must have run away.
There are many roads
Let's
to success.
grab some herbs. Okay, well, let's continue on to this node here. And I think up this way. So we can go south toward this kobold trail. But I think I want to check out this bandit camp first. I didn't realize there was a route there from the ruined watchtower. Okay. Shorty. Okay. We actually should heal up a little bit first. In case this
Knowledge is the key.
goes poorly.
Shall not fail.
And let's go ahead and
Stay on your
get
toes.
some blur on Alvar at least. And we might as well put
Our time.
bark skin on leopard. Okay. Hey, y'all, you all are leaving some for me, right? Hendrik, just stand lookout like you were told. The man's voice carries the weight of command. He seems to be the leader of these bandits. His bushy beard is matted, and remnants of the last day's meals are still evident in it. Quit your whining. We always take care of our own, don't we? Says a disheveled, rotund woman with a round face. Ha, right you are. When have we ever mistreated you, Shorty? The short, ratty man, whose filthy strands of hair do little to obscure his prominent bald spot, doesn't even try to watch the road. His eyes are locked on the sight of his companions rummaging through their most recent haul of obviously stolen loot. The bandit leader looks up and jumps with a start when he sees you, his sole eye wide in disbelief. Shorty, you ass, you were supposed to watch the road. Shorty spins to face you, finally noticing your presence. Hey, someone's coming, grab your blades. Hey, hold on, everyone, the bandit leader says as he sheathes the sword he'd drawn just a moment ago. And Shorty, stop your foaming. Look here, this is our glorious Baron himself. Come now, bow down, everyone, bow down. The bandit leader bows low, a smirk showing through his bushy beard. The rest of the bandits clumsily repeat the gesture, all except Shorty, who can only glance back and forth, unable to comprehend the situation. Who are you? What's going on here? Why, we're your loyal subjects, honest bandits, the lot of us. The bandit leader's broad smile reveals a mouth full of rotted teeth. We'd been associating with the Stag Lord's band, but since you went and beat the stag out of him, we're left on our own. So now you ought to take us in, your grace. We'd be even better with a strong leader. You wish to enter my service? Aye, your grace, we're ready and willing to serve. We'll take a pledge right now if you want. We'll kiss your boots, your ass, whatever you need. We're sick to death of hiding in the woods and sleeping in the dirt. Why be bandits when we could take from traders, legal-like? Collect taxes, he means, your grace, the rotund woman clarifies. All for the glory of your grace, of course, the bandit leader says with a grin. Hey, what are you saying? Shorty shakes his head in confusion. If that's the Baron, the only job he'll have for us is as news tighteners. I say we cut him down and call it a day. Shut your trap, Shorty. I beg your pardon, your grace. Dumb as a doornail he is, just joined our company but recently. Oh, these choices really worry me. Alright, I'll hire you. The barony has been lacking manpower recently, but all the taxes you collect will go to the barony treasury. As you command, boss, or your grace. Bandit leader's face is almost glowing with joy. We'll finish sorting things out here, then head straight to your capital. Everyone, you best thank his grace now. Thank you, your grace. Hurrah for his grace. Ahem, thanks, your grace. Okay. Don't feel great about that choice. Oh, I like some 2 haste scrolls, though. And a heavy mace. Cure light wounds wand. That's not going to go very far for us anymore. Torag pendant. Good. Okay. Alright, we've got some new employees. Hope you guys don't make us sorry about that. Okay. Well, next we will head to Kobold Trail. I think that is the most logical next point. Hopefully this doesn't bite us in the butt. Having bandits doing our work for us doesn't really seem like the best course of action, but it was Kane's decision, not mine. Thanks for being here and watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you again back here next time in the Stolen Lands. Bye-bye.